Hi everyone, I'm Michael Short. This is Let's Go Outdoors.
Let's go outdoors where the waters run clear and cold. Mother Nature's world is better than gold. So much to see, so much to do. Let's go outdoors, me and you. Let's go outdoors.
Let's Go Outdoors with Michael Short. Supported by the Alberta Conservation Association, conserving Alberta's wild side.
Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Go Outdoors. I'm Michael Short. Coming up, we chat about the Report-a-Poacher program, a joint program run by the Alberta Conservation Association and Alberta Sustainable Resource Development. We will also be off to Alford Lake to introduce you to the next generation of outdoor hunters, anglers, and conservationists. Nice shot. Brad Fenson from the Alberta Fish and Game Association will be along with a few tips on the role camouflage plays when it comes to hunting. And a conversation with Rob Olson, president of Delta Waterfowl, one of the oldest conservation organizations in North America. It's important to have a basic understanding of how to handle a potential encounter with the bear. We'll have some details to pass along to you in a little while.
Prospectors searching for dinosaur fossils called tents like this home years ago. And now you can enjoy this unique experience as well at the Dinosaur Provincial Park.
Today we're coming to you from the newest outdoor retail outlet in the Edmonton area, Cabela's. Opening its doors last summer, this store pretty well has it all when it comes to outfitting the avid outdoor enthusiast. Now, management here at the store has also indicated it wants to be more than just a retail outlet, pledging its support to a number of conservation groups. A real pleasure to welcome the events coordinator of the Edmonton Cabela store, Desiree Perschbacher, to the program. Desiree, thanks so much for allowing us to come in here and be part of the Cabela scenery for one of our episodes here at Let's Go Outdoors.
It's our pleasure.
Talk about this setup. I mean, these animals are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, all of these animals are actually from Alberta. You could see all of these animals within our province. You don't have to go too far to find any of them. We kind of based our whole store around Alberta. It's our first store in Alberta, so we really wanted to pull from that feel of the province. This guy in particular is not too far from Edmonton, just about an hour west. He is right now the world record non-typical mule deer, so I mean, you don't have to go too far to find these amazing animals.
Well, speaking of things non-typical, your approach to, I guess, the Edmonton and Northern Alberta community, especially when it comes to conservation groups, is certainly non-typical. Desiree, talk about that relationship and what you're trying to build with the community in offering support to these groups.
Yeah, definitely. Conservation efforts are very important to us. You know, we're not just a big retail outlet store. We really do like to be involved actively in the community. The conservation groups, we try and do as much as we can with them. You know, we offer our conference room open to them at absolutely no charge. Lots of those groups are volunteer based, so they don't always have a place that they can meet. So our conference room really allows them to come into the store and not have to worry about a place they need to find. We sent some people to Southern Alberta, and we were working on the Pronghorn project with the Alberta Conservation Association and in part with the Alberta Fish and Game. And, you know, we were out there fencing for the whole weekend. You know, volunteering, getting out there in the community, anything we can do to help is definitely what we're into.
And you've taken that approach, too, here at the store of providing subject matter experts. You've had folks come in and do seminars, and you've even had a ladies' evening, I believe.
Education is probably the root, I think, to conservation efforts in itself, and so we do hold seminars. We usually try and do about 8 per weekend, all varying in topic and depending on the time of year, of course. And our outfitters, I mean, you name it. You ask a question, someone in this building knows the answer. I mean, I feel like I've learned so much just from being here and working with these people. So it's really nice to be able to share their knowledge through those seminars and really educate people that way.
Just coming back to these mounts and everything that you've got going on along the walls, I mean, when someone walks in for the first time, it's almost like going into a museum. Well, certainly the quality of the taxidermy is first rate. Was it difficult to locate these animals to get on display?
It's actually not too difficult. I think people, you know, they're very eager. They know that we are always looking for taxidermy, and I mean, I get phone calls all the time. Pictures, people send in pictures and they want us to buy their taxidermy. So all this stuff, I mean, it is known throughout Alberta. So those guys are proud about their animals and they want to show them off as well.
A very impressive place for us to be holding Let's Go Outdoors. We want to once again thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of it.
I appreciate you coming.
This is what comfort camping looks like today, just a little bit more upscale than what the prospectors endured hundreds of years ago.
Alberta Conservation Association. Since 1997, more than $120 million has gone towards conserving wildlife and fish and securing habitat, creating a lasting legacy for Albertans.
Oh, it appears I dozed off.
Hey, Elma, let's get to work.
So this is how I'm going to be spending my night tonight, and Brad's going to show me how it's done.
All right, you excited?
Comfort camping at its finest. I'm ready to see.
So this is your own private deck here. You got your 2 chairs, place for your beverage. And you want to take a look inside?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just help me roll this up and we'll...
Ooh, I'm sneaking a peek and it's looking very pretty.
Oh, it's nice and cool in there too.
Yeah, shade. So ideally this would sleep about 4 people?
Yeah, family of 4 would, could sleep 4 adults. It just depends on, how cozy you are with the people you're coming with. Great for couples and great for small families.
Mm-hmm. I think the concept is really neat. I mean, it's a little bit of your home out in nature. So if you're not fully comfortable with being, go-getter, sleeping on the ground, you can totally enjoy this. And I want to point out the beautiful view. I mean, that's something that you can't find anywhere else.
And you can see across into the cottonwood forest and into the Badlands. Very common, you'll probably see eagles and vultures soaring above the river here tonight.
It's beautiful. I can sit on this lovely bed and I can look out, have my beautiful view. I've got a fridge, cold beverages, I've got a fan, windows open, luxury.
We get a lot of international travelers here. Europeans or people from Asia or South America aren't going to come all the way to Canada with all their camping gear.
That's right.
So this allows them to have that camping experience. There's people that have done lots of camping and are just ready for something a little bit more, don't want to sleep on the ground anymore. And then there's people that have never camped, and for them it can be intimidating. Price, it's less expensive than your average hotel room, so it's definitely within the reach of anybody.
It's definitely a unique experience. So I'm looking forward to spending the night here and enjoying it.
You're going to have
and
a great
I got a
night.
Heater. Perfect.
Heater if it gets cold, fan, lots of ventilation. And these are good sturdy wall tents, just like that the fossil hunters used to use in this area. So there's a little historical kind of feeling to it as well. There's a park moment.
Well, it's far too early to retire for the evening, so let's get an ice cream cone like Buster here and head out on a sunset photo tour. Off we go into some of the secret areas of the nature preserve at Dinosaur Provincial Park. This 2-hour guided tour is scheduled for photography's magic time, those last couple of hours before sunset when shadows bring new life to landscapes. During the day it was hot, 30 degrees, but now it's a more comfortable 25. At each stop we're given ample time to get to the perfect shot, or simply to just soak up the natural beauty of the Badlands. Whether you're a budding professional or a point-and-shoot photographer like myself, you're sure to get stunning shots. At times, you just want to put down the camera, sit on a rock, and soak it all in.
Over here on the very right-hand side, you're going to see some hoodoos there that kind of look like they have chocolate chip cookies on top. We call those the foodoos.
Those chocolate chip cookies are actually a harder rock called ironstone. Hard rains wash away the softer sandstone below them, leaving some pretty interesting shapes.
This is a rock, a hoodoo that we call Fred the Camel. There's actually literally pictures of him all over the world. People have been taking pictures of this guy for years. When I was in Kenya a year ago, I actually saw a picture of him there.
Just a little lower?
Okay, good.
It's absolutely magnificently beautiful, beautiful. So it's inspiring me to be more creative than I am now. It's nothing like seeing Mother Nature at its finest, and with the sunset too, it's even better.
Welcome to Valley of the Moon. It may be a harsh environment, but it's one of the most beautiful places that you could ever find in Alberta. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's go explore. We're pretty much done the main portion of our sunset tour. Have you guys enjoyed yourselves so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an amazing place. Oh, thank you.
Wow, what a great way to see the Badlands. Time to head back to camp. And as the sun sets on this beautiful setting along the Red Deer River in southeastern Alberta, I realize I'm feeling a little tuckered. I'm looking forward to a solid queen-size mattress instead of a skinny air mattress. Wow, what a gorgeous evening. Way off in the distance, I can hear crackling fires and children's voices. If you're into regular camping, there are plenty of sites here to pitch your tent or park your RV and sit by the fire, make some s'mores with the whole gang. Best to reserve ahead. On weekends in summer, the campground is often full. Find out more about comfort camping and the sunset tour at albertaparks.ca.
You know, there was a time, and not all that long ago, that when you wanted to learn how to hunt or fish or gain some general outdoor skills, you needed to rely on a family member to teach you how to become proficient in those activities. Today, though, thanks to the efforts of the Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association, kids have an opportunity to learn from experienced mentors at the Alford Lake summer camps. Kids from across Alberta gather every summer at Alford Lake, located just west of Caroline, to participate in the Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association Youth Seminar.
Go see Bonnie for the rimfire, and Emma for the advanced archery.
Well, it may look a little chaotic, but from the moment these kids and their families arrive, everything is mapped out for a busy couple of days of activities.
It's impossible for you to come to this event and not find at least something that you like. And should that ever happen, we have a lovely pig roast for supper tonight that everybody likes. So it's been a really, really good event.
Introducing kids to a wide range of outdoor activities, the whole idea behind the youth seminar. Of course, activities like the shotgun are a big favorite.
Pull. Just so much fun, like shooting the clay and, you know.
Good one.
While the firearms can provide the big bang, more refined motor skills are required for archery.
One thing we find about archery is that we start from very young to very old, and they all can compete equally. So they have that opportunity to feel equal no matter what size, and a sense of accomplishment when they actually achieve something and actually hit a target.
And even at a relatively young age, there are some archers who really know their stuff.
Nice. Well, first just start a true glow sight. 5 pins, you know, just the regular 10, 20, 30, and 40.
But for those just starting out, the equipment is, well, basic at least, until the fundamentals are understood.
See this little thing here?
Yep.
That's going to be your slide release.
Passing the fundamentals on in all of the activities are a number of experienced instructors.
Go ahead.
The recoil is probably like 243, 270 rifle. Okay.
While it's a youth camp, entire families end up sharing the day, and along the way learn some new skills.
So one of the key things is a dad who used to live from a farm in a small community up north and moving to a central place like Stony Plain or close to Edmonton. What we've lost is the idea of taking the children out. So as young parents, we grew from infants now to middle age, and we're taking them out to learn the things that I learned when I was young, ranging from crossbows, hunting itself, or understanding animals, and now shooting at this stage.
And for this mom, a weekend spent at Alford Lake with her son and his friend is a great alternative to video games in the basement.
I'd rather they do this than be
sitting
tied
on a
up in the
couch
basement playing Xbox. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but they are more energetic, they feel better, sunshine's good for them, they get to see more wildlife when they're out doing things rather than sitting watching it on a screen, so
yeah,
it's much better.
It's way better to actually see wildlife like deer, moose, elk, you name it, like out in the bush instead of these different pixels and all that.
The youth seminar is more than just a place to drop the kids off for a weekend. It's designed to encourage both parents and kids to take on new outdoor skills.
In-house, we always joke about that we're one of the best kept secrets around, and people don't realize all the things we've done. And 2 years ago, we actually graduated our 1 millionth student through our hunter education program, and we do tons of different things for kids, for women. We're involved in getting food to the hungry through the food bank, through wild game, and the list just goes on and on and on. So yeah, if you're interested in anything to do with the outdoors or interconnected, just look us up and we'll be happy to get you on board or to point you in the right direction.
Okay. And speaking of direction, which way was it to that pig roast? Well, as you saw, instilling conservation values in those young folks is a big part of the AHIA program. And these values are certainly reflected through one of the oldest conservation organizations in North America. I'm talking about Delta Waterfowl. Rob Olson is the current president.
We've been doing waterfowl research across this continent since 1937. In the last 10, 15 years, though, we've really changed a lot. We've taken on some new issues. We've realized that if you want to conserve ducks in Alberta, you're going to have to work with the farmers in a very unique new way, and you're going to have to deal with some problems like predation. And so we've gone beyond our core kind of research capability, which we still do a lot of, but now we're doing a whole lot more, and arguably doing more in Alberta than almost anywhere on this continent today.
And when it comes to defending the fact that Delta waterfowl activity encourages hunting, Rob feels it's time for the hunting community to stop being apologetic for this activity.
It's time for hunters to get rid of that thinking. That's such tired old thinking. Now, I'm a big food guy. I watch the Food Network a lot. Cooking wild game is a big part of why I hunt. There's no less than 10 chefs on the Food Network out hunting and shooting their own stuff now. They want to get their own meat. Society, I think that it's so urbanized now, hunters like us are kind of cool again. We're almost like living folk art or something. People are wanting to reconnect to getting where their food comes from. They want to get organic meat, they want local food, they want slow food. We need to drop this being apologetic thing. And Delta has never been apologetic about the hunting side. We got to be proud about it, be intelligent about it. If we talk to this non-hunting majority intelligently about what we do and our passion for putting back, it's a great story to tell, and there's no reason to be couching anything. That's old thinking in my view. We got to come out swinging on this. We're a great story. We just need to tell it as hunters.
Coming up, Brad Fenson will be along with a disappearing act you don't want to miss. In the past, well sites in northern Alberta were left to naturally regenerate. Today, Devon Energy is using innovative methods to make areas like this return to their natural state faster.
We brought in a hoe with a ripper tooth and broke through the frost. There was 18 to 24 inches of frost, and broke those pieces up and rearranged them in varying patterns. They've just become mounds and hummocks, which is what we find naturally in the black spruce and tamarack fens.
Uprooting peat moss like this allows some very old seeds to germinate.
The researchers from U of A have looked at that and said it could easily be a 500 to 1,000-year-old seed because it takes many decades to build up this much layer of organic in these forests.
Devon is currently working with those U of A researchers to find even better methods of reclamation. That's good news for caribou and other wildlife who live here.
Arboreal lichens are what some of the woodland caribou have their favorite meals from.
The Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association delivers conservation programs about Alberta's wildlife and fish, which need to be managed for future generations. To date, AHIA has instructed over 1 million students.
Hi, I'm Brad Fenson with the Alberta Fish and Game Association with your outdoor tip of the week. This week we're going to talk about camouflage. Is it really a necessity in order to be successful when you're out hunting? There's a lot of different thoughts on the subject, and when it comes to different hunting styles, it can play a big role. Waterfowl have keen eyesight and don't miss much, and distinct color differences can make a huge difference to your success rate. But what about deer and elk and moose? They don't see things the same way that humans do. They actually see blaze orange as yellows and browns, but they do see the ultraviolet spectrum of light a lot brighter, so blues and stuff like that show up. So if you're trying to blend into your environment, obviously picking clothing that looks like your background is going to help you. The biggest difference, or the biggest mistake that you can make, is moving too quickly. How often have you spotted a deer or an elk in the woods because it moves or starts to run? Animals see us the same way. It's that movement that they key in on. So when you're wearing camouflage or other clothing, your slow movement is actually key to staying concealed. Does camouflage work? It does, and it does play a role, but do we really need camouflage socks and undershirts and everything that's hidden underneath? With the new clothing that's often only available in camouflage, there's some huge advantages. Everything from keeping you warm, wicking moisture off you, breaking the wind. Most of the high-tech garments are available in camo, and that is what's going to keep you in the field and help you be successful in the end run.
No matter what your outdoor activity, if you're going to be spending time in the backcountry, you owe it to yourself and those you travel with to be bear aware.
Purpose of the Bear Smart program in Alberta is to educate Albertans into being bear smart and bear aware when they're outdoors and in their outdoor pursuits across Alberta and anybody visiting Alberta. It allows you to have the proper tools to deal with situations with bears and prevent situations that may occur when you're in the backcountry and bear surroundings. The Bear Smart program is pretty wide in its purpose. It's set up for industry, it's set up for urban people across the province, in the cities and things like that. It's also set up for residential and or outdoor enthusiasts and also people that visit Alberta. You know, we try and get the widest scope possible on this program just because we know people are accessing the outdoors now in areas and ways that wasn't attainable 15, 20 years ago. The one message I'd like to get across is do not feed bears. Feeding bears ultimately leads to us having to deal with them or having to deal with a bear in a lethal means if necessary or relocation. Ultimately, feeding bears is not a good thing. It can reduce their survivability, and we want to see populations in Alberta grow and not reduce.
Pheasants Forever celebrates its 20th year in Alberta in 2012. We are dedicated to the conservation of pheasants and other upland wildlife through habitat improvements, public awareness, education, and land management policies and programs.
Every year, a number of poaching cases are investigated here in Alberta. Thankfully, we have hunters and anglers in the backcountry that can help curtail this type of illegal activity. Real pleasure to welcome Ken Cranrod from the Alberta Conservation Association to talk about the Report-a-Poacher program. Ken, the Report-a-Poacher program established by the Alberta Conservation Association and Alberta Sustainable Resource Development, what's it in place to do?
Basically, the program is in place to serve two functions, essentially. One is to educate the public about poaching. Basically, what is it? What are all the different kinds of crimes, essentially, that can happen? But then also, primarily, to provide a mechanism, a community-based mechanism, to allow the public to report incidents that they think are poaching to the officers.
So is it strictly a crime-based kind of scenario, or if there are other incidents in the backcountry or other people discovered a dead animal for something under questionable circumstances, is that an opportunity for them to use the Report-a-Poacher line as well?
Well, I would say that the line is there primarily as a crime reporting line. That's what it's there for, is to, like the name says, report a poacher. And so anytime people see activities that they know are poaching 100%, that they can call that line, or even activities that they're not sure but they think are poaching, to call it. But certainly if there are, I think all the officers would agree that if anybody sees something that's kind of suspicious or they don't know what's going on, and rather than not call, I think they'd like to receive those calls so that then they can act upon them and act accordingly.
I think it's interesting because even in the title Report-a-Poacher, there seems to be a segment of society that feels that, well, these are bad hunters, and yet I would hazard to guess that most people that call the line are in fact hunters reporting suspicious activity. They're on the land, they know what season it is and what season it isn't, and if they see something, they can really be very valuable to authorities in helping to track down people that are doing something wrong.
Very much so. In fact, I would agree with you that a lot of the people that are using the Report-a-Poacher hotline are in fact hunters and anglers themselves. And I think actually the community feels that they're reporting criminals, because we should all remember that poaching is a crime. And so it's hunters and anglers, in a sense, not turning in hunters and anglers, they're turning in criminals, because a poacher is not a hunter and not an angler, they're a criminal.
Quite a difference there, and often we read about hunters charged with, and nothing gets the back of my neck standing up faster than reading that kind of thing. Ken, what role does the Alberta Conservation Association play within this very important program?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Alberta Conservation Association and Alberta Fish and Wildlife deliver the Report-a-Poacher program jointly. The Fish and Wildlife, they basically handle all the enforcement aspects of the program, the investigations and laying criminal charges and all that sort of thing, and they have the officers to do that. For Alberta Conservation Association, essentially we're tasked with the administration of the program. We handle all the paperwork and whatnot, and the administering of the rewards to the anonymous people that call in. And then also we are handling the promotion of the program. That's really where the large part of our role lies, is making sure that the Albertans are aware of the program, that they understand what poaching is, all the different kinds of things, because not everybody is completely up to snuff with what is poaching and what isn't. So there's kind of an educational role there as well.
Obviously, it is a tip line. It's set up, I guess, in a way similar to what police agencies in major cities have. If a call comes in and does result in a conviction, there is a reward that does go out. And again, that's something that you folks administer.
Yes, that is definitely something that ACA is taxed with. We handle the monies for the RAP rewards, essentially, which, as you say, people call in anonymously, and all of their information is handled confidentially by the officers on Fish and Wildlife. ACA is not involved with that at all. And then if a tip does lead to an arrest and a conviction, then the person qualifies for a reward, and that is handled all by Fish and Wildlife folks, and they let us know then when to send the monies out, and then that's what we take care of. And we literally give out tens of thousands of dollars every year to people that are helping Fish and Wildlife officers catch the bad guys, basically.
And how are these monies raised, Ken?
This comes directly from the levies that ACA receives from hunting and fishing sales every year.
Ken, thank you so much for giving us a bit of an education into a very important program run through the Alberta Conservation Association in conjunction with Fish and Wildlife.
You're welcome, Michael. Thank you.
Wild Sheep Foundation Alberta promotes and enhances wild sheep populations and habitat through the funding of programs that support responsible wildlife management, conservation education, youth involvement, and the preservation of our hunting heritage.
If you would like to catch previous episodes of our program, then track down our website at letsgooutdoors.ca. Remember, the outdoors is here for all of us to enjoy. If you see someone taking away from that enjoyment, call the Report-a-Poacher line. Till next time, I'm Michael Short. Let's go outdoors.
I know where I want to be, outside, wild and free. Let's go outdoors. Let's go outdoors, you and me. Let's go outdoors where the waters run clear and cold. Mother Nature's world is better than gold. So much to see, so much to do.